Hey, what's going on, everyone? Beast Armada here, and I'm back with another Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 commentary. So, what I want to talk about today was Black Ops 2 and basically the pace of the game. But first, I'm going to talk a little bit about the gameplay. I'm using the PP90M1 SMG with a red dot and I believe kick proficiency. And I do realize this gun gets a lot of hate, and I do dislike it myself. I mean, a lot of people, they use it and they pretty much spray and pray with it, and the gun is pretty overpowered. I mean its fire rate is really what makes it the most overpowered in my opinion. I mean, I think it shoots over 1,000 bullets a minute with the rapid fire attachment, which is pretty ridiculous. And that's gonna fall a little bit more into what I wanted to talk about today is Black Ops 2 and its game pace. So I mean, SMGs are obviously very important to how fast the Call of Duty's pace is. I mean, SMGs, it basically wants, people want to run around more likely with SMGs than they would an assault rifle or an LMG, especially, or something like that that's really slow, and it wrecks your sprint speed and your distance that you can travel. Now in Black Ops 2, there's also supposed to be some changes to these stealth perks, and what I basically mean by stealth perks, I'm talking about the I believe it's called UAV jammer. Maybe from Call of Duty 4, and then they had the camouflage from World at War. They just basically gave them different names. And Modern Warfare 2, I think they went to Cold-Blooded, and then Black Ops, it was Ghost. And basically the traits of these have changed throughout the years, and for the better and for the worse in some degree. But I'm going to talk about both. So, in Call of Duty 4, the pace was amazing. When I played it, there was really no dull moment, and that's what made Call of Duty 4, in my opinion, the best Call of Duty still to date as far as pace goes. Maybe not necessarily every aspect of it, but definitely pace. The pace of it was amazing. If you didn't think the pace of Call of Duty 4 was that good, then I don't know. I don't know why you would disagree, but the pace on it was probably the fastest of every Call of Duty. It was really smooth as well. I mean, the game ran perfectly, in my opinion, as far as how that went. Moving on to World at War. Now, this game was very similar to Call of Duty 4, as most of you know. I mean, pretty much what Treyarch did was reskinned it into a World War II setting, and they pretty much, that's pretty much all they did. They didn't change any of the kill streaks or any of the perks for the most part. The camouflage perk, which is one of my stealth perks that I was talking about, it does the same exact thing as the UAV jammer in Call of Duty 4 did. So, changing it up a little bit, in Modern Warfare 2, they changed it to Cold-Blooded, and this brought a whole different thing to the table. Along with this, they had brought plenty more of attachments to the table. So basically what they did is they took the Cold-Blooded stealth perk and they made it like a lot better. They basically gave it steroids. They made it where you can't be detected by thermal sights, which was an attachment, as most of you know. Obviously it protected you from the radar, and the only thing that was the radar in Modern Warfare 2 was just the UAV, which was a 3 kill streak. So there was no Blackbird like in Black Ops, where no matter what perk you had on, you were visible. But I'll get to that in a minute. So in Modern Warfare 2, you still had your standard stealth perks, but no one really liked to use them, and that's what made Call of Duty so fast-paced too. No one really liked to use them for Call of Duty 4, World at War, and even Modern Warfare 2. And the reason why is, most of you do know, but it is Stopping Power and Juggernaut. These two perks, believe it or not, they were really a balancing factor. They made such a huge balancing, like they just made it a lot easier to balance the pace of the game and plenty of other aspects that I don't want to get into right now. I may get into in a later commentary, but pretty much they just made the game much, much more balanced. But moving on. So with Stopping Power, obviously you kill people a little bit quicker. With Juggernaut, you stayed alive a little bit longer. And then you had the perk that kept you off the radar. Now, most people would honestly have to agree that I would rather kill someone faster or not be killed as quickly than to stay off the radar, because usually in those 3 games, you only got into one-on-one engagements for the most part, as far as I remember. There wasn't really like a big cluster of people that you would run into for the most part. Maybe more or less in Modern Warfare 2, especially in Ground War, you would run into a lot of people sometimes if they were camping or whatever, sitting up in a building. But that's pretty much it. I mean, you usually only ran into 1 or 2 guys at a time. But moving on to Black Ops. So this is when the stealth perks got ridiculous. They were really, really overpowered, at least in my opinion, because Ghost, when you got it pro'd, and this wasn't the first game to introduce the perks that where you can get them pro'd. Modern Warfare 2 did that, but that isn't a problem. I don't really think that makes it that much more difficult to balance them, but it still is a factor that they need to maybe suggest a change in Black Ops 2, which David Von Hart did say that there's not going to be any pro'd perks in Black Ops 2, which is pretty exciting to hear, because I guess they can balance the perks and make it a lot easier to balance a game like that. I mean, I guess they're going back to sort of an older style, kind of like Call of Duty 4 and World at War, where there was no such thing as a pro perk. So, pretty much moving on. So back on Black Ops. So the Ghost perk was ridiculous. You pretty much, the only way you could show up on the radar was if someone called in a Blackbird, which was an 8 kill streak or a 9 kill streak. It was one of the two, but it was a really high kill streak. And anybody that wasn't really knowing what they were doing, or if you were versing someone that knew what they were doing on their team, you most likely wouldn't necessarily get a Blackbird, or it was really difficult to. And that just made Ghost that much more powerful. And I forgot to mention, but they did remove Stopping Power and Juggernaut from Black Ops, so that just made the stealth perk that much more desirable. But now moving on to Modern Warfare 3, what they took with Ghost, and Ghost was what made Ghost so overpowered is that you couldn't also be killed by kill streaks. But they divided that up in Modern Warfare 3. They made it where there's 2 different perks, but they have Assassin and Blind Eye. And Blind Eye just keeps you off of the kill streaks, basically, where they could see you as easily. And then the Assassin was even more overpowered, and you could still stack them because there were 2 different perk slots. And that just made it that much more difficult to balance this game. But guys, this commentary is wrapping up. Let me know which Call of Duty was your favorite as far as the pace goes. Have a great day.